Hey good people, and welcome back to my channel. It's Friday, and I hope everybody is looking forward to the weekend like I am. In just a few moments, I'll be sharing my thoughts and feelings on the marriage of Jose and Rachel from Married at First Sight Houston. But before I get into that, allow me to backtrack. A few weeks ago, I made my video that analyzed the marriage of Gil and Myrla. And since making that video, I'm definitely happy to see that Myrla is lowering her guard and letting Gil get closer to her heart. Of all the men that are participating this season, I think Gil is the most genuine participant by far. And last week I posted a video featuring Zack and Michaela, and my thoughts definitely have not changed since the airing of the last two episodes. If anything, I'm doubling down on my belief that they both need counseling expeditiously. So what are my thoughts on Jose and Rachel? To be completely honest with you, when I first saw Jose, something didn't sit well with me. Call it intuition, call it vibes, or whatever you want. But between those shifty eyes, the feminine energy, and the Mr. Rogers demeanor, I wondered if he would be another version of Brandon from the DC season of the show. And when I saw Rachel, I thought that she was pretty cool, laid back, and she would make a decent wife to any guy on the show. So fast forwarding to the wedding, it seemed like Jose and Rachel had instant chemistry right off the bat. But taking a deeper look into things, I believe that Jose and Rachel are very conscious of how they are portrayed on the show and how they will look to their friends, families, and co-workers. And if I had to compare them to any of the couples from past seasons, I would say that they remind me of Virginia and Eric from last season. Now, as the season went on, we learned that Jose and Rachel were the first couple to consummate their marriage and the first couple to claim that they love one another. Now, I'm all for people experimenting with an accelerated process towards getting married, but it's a little hard for me to believe that Jose and Rachel were in love as soon as they claimed they were. Early on in the show, Jose carried himself as a man who knows all the answers, wants to make all the decisions, and is not willing to compromise on any of that, while Rachel seems to be a bit of a free spirit who doesn't like being tied down to anybody. Maybe Jose gave Rachel some of that premium pickle tickle, and it made her fall in love with him. But trouble in paradise became official with this couple on last week's episode, when the two of them had gotten into an argument after Rachel called Jose by another man's name. This causes Jose to have a complete meltdown, asking Rachel to leave the apartment and accidentally lock her out. Now let's take a deeper dive into this. If I was married and my wife called me by another man's name, my reaction would truly depend on who she mistook me for. If it was a random guy with a very similar name, then I would probably be understanding and brush it off. But if she called me by her ex's name and our names are nothing alike, then I would probably have some words with her and we would talk about it. But with that being said, I think that Jose definitely overreacted in how he handled the situation with Rachel. On top of talking down to her, he told her to leave the apartment, and he later locked the door, which prevented her from being able to enter it. Jose defends his decision of locking the door by saying that he always locks the doors of his property at nighttime and that it was an accident. But come on now. First of all, you don't own these apartments. These apartments belong to the show and they're supplying the two of you with them. You also claim to be in love with the woman, but you didn't bother checking on her before you went to sleep. And this is important because over this season, Jose is demonstrated as being very disciplined in what he does and also very calculated in his actions. I seriously believe that Jose locked the door on purpose because he didn't want her coming back into the apartment that night. And I would have had more respect for Jose if he had just admitted that to Rachel instead of lying and denying. Because even when he told all of the guys his side of the story, none of them were buying any of it. So if you've seen yesterday's episode, you see that Jose and Rachel hash things out and they're back in love again. Give me a break. I firmly believe that once decision day comes around, Jose and Rachel may ask for a divorce, or they'll stay married only to get a divorce within the next year. They may be physically attracted to one another, but their personalities as well as how they handle conflict are things that aren't quite balanced in their relationship. But what do you all think about Jose and Rachel? Feel free to let me know in the comment section below, and I will be sure to reply to every comment. Well folks, this marks the end of my video. Over the next 2 weeks, I will share my thoughts on the remaining couples of the season, as well as why I feel this season is a complete waste. But until next time, Stay tuned and stay safe. Peace.